Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today is Hump Day. It is Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. I am Solid Blue Sister, and this is My Turn to Talk. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. And everyone listening on a streaming platform, welcome. Hey, Brina. Hey, Frankie. Frankie, you're number one, and Brina's number two today. Welcome. I hope everyone is having a beautiful day. Hey, Daddy Hawk, welcome. Welcome. You're number 3 today, and Petty Deb, welcome. Welcome. The only crazy lady, welcome. Welcome, all of you. I appreciate you guys coming. Appreciate you being here. Blunt Ninja, welcome, and Minnesota family, welcome, welcome. Bria says, cold but beautiful. Hope you're having a good day too. I am. Even though the Santa Ana winds totally blew down my greenhouse. You guys should see it. But I'm going to go out there tomorrow and put it back together. Oh boy. Welcome, everyone. Hey, Shelby, welcome. The new video. Okay, crazy lady, what video are you referring? Oh, no, I will watch it after. I'll watch it after. I like all of your videos. I'll watch it after. Okay, so everyone, welcome, welcome. We're going to stop the music there, and let me change one of my monitors here. And I replayed it, sorry. There we go. I was trying to adjust one of my monitors. Hold on one second. Okay, now I can see what's going on everywhere. All right, so today I want to talk about violence and how an act of violence changes lives. Either violence within the family, violence, if someone does something to you, or a family member, or someone in your family has done something to someone else. How does that change lives? And my question is, should we forgive, or do we let it consume us? And if we don't forgive, is it necessarily consuming us? People say, just let it go, just let it go. Do we have to? Do we have to let something go? Is it okay to hold on to something where something has done, and where someone has done something to you or yours? And if you are the friend or family member of the perpetrator, or if you're the perpetrator themselves, and I know we kind of talked about this on another show when we were talking about victim statements and what have you, but there was a topic within that topic, and we were talking about how the violence affects people. So if you're the perpetrator, should you expect to be forgiven? Should you? I mean, even if you were to go to prison for whatever you did, or if you just got a slap on the hand, should you expect the people that you committed that violent act against to forgive you? And if you're the person who had the violent act committed against, do you have to forgive? I mean, when people always say you should be the better person, or you should be the bigger person, you know, do you have to be? Some people feel that that you should. Some people feel that they have, that they shouldn't. Blunt Ninja says, always forgive. The hate will consume your soul. If not, you don't necessarily need to forget, just forgive. I want to come back to that one. Brina says, we don't have to forgive, but it's unhealthy to harbor hate and resentment. Okay. And I'm going to come back to that one too. And Blunt Ninja says, forgiveness shouldn't be expected. So for Blunt Ninja and Brina, if someone harbors hate and resentment, is that necessarily unhealthy? And what I mean by that is, I mean, are you guys assuming that that person is just, oh my God, I hate her, or I hate him, or this is what they did to my family, I will never forgive them? If someone feels that way, is it just a feeling that they have, or do you think that it's consuming them? Because when someone does something to you that is so horrible, it's hard to forgive. And some people need time. That time may not come within a month. That time may not come within a year. It may take 10 years to get over something. So are we, the people on the outside looking in, do we have the right to say, well, you should forgive that person? It's unhealthy for you, whatever. I mean, and Blunt Ninja says hate isn't healthy. It hurts you in the end. And okay, Petty Deb is saying hi to Frankie. And yes, Blunt Ninja says. Okay, so should we expect forgiveness? Shelby wants to come up. Because I don't think that we should expect it, nor do I feel that we should necessarily give it. And I'm gonna tell you guys something. One thing that bugs me is, and it bugs me to no end, is when people say you should be the bigger person. It's like, why does the other person who didn't do anything always have to be the bigger person? Why don't the person who is the one that's causing all the commotion and the drama, why don't they be the bigger person? That bugs me to no end, because to me, you're always letting that other person get away, and there's no, have them be they have to be, they have to they have to be aware of what they are doing. And let's see, Blunt says, Shelby, I'm coming to you. Blunt says, I personally believe in forgiveness, but not forgetting. Okay, but people can forget, but that doesn't necessarily mean you have to forgive. I'm sorry, Blunt. I disagree with you. I don't believe that everyone deserves forgiveness. I'm sorry. I just don't. I let the forgiveness let something that God does, and that's something that I'll have to face when I see my maker. Rena says, no, like my auntie in my head says, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. Maya Angelou, you don't have to forgive people that did you wrong. Did you wrong, learn and move on. Let me read that again. You don't have to forgive people that did you wrong, learn and move on. And Brina, I have learned. I have learned in my life. I have learned and I have moved on. And there are for people that I will never, ever forgive. You all have heard me before that I will hold a grudge, depending upon what it is. Is it affecting me? Nope, because it's like I just know that when I see those people or whatever, what I'm not going to do, what I will do, and I just keep right on going. Let's see. And Brina says, yes, it depends on the severity. Shelby, welcome.
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
I am good. I am good.
I believe in forgiveness, not for the person that done the crime, but for yourself, because it does. If you don't forgive them, it gives that person the power, and I also believe that that power can not eat at you, but it can cause you bitterness, yes, if you don't forgive, but they have the power over you to make you think. See, a lot of my problem, I think, stems back, from yesterday's show. I think a lot of my problem is I don't forgive what my sister-in-law has done to me, because she keeps on, and she keeps on. It's a never-ending cycle. She's always doing something to me. So it's hard for me to forgive her, because she's constantly doing something. It's not just one thing and she stopped doing it, and not that it's a crime. I'm just saying, for example. But if it's a major crime, like if somebody was to have shot my husband, so to speak, I would not forget that person done that, and I would hope justice would prevail, but I would, in my heart, have to forgive that person, because of the simple fact, one, justice would prevail. Two, like you said, they would have to deal with it when they saw their maker. It's not my place. To me, not forgiving that person would be like judging that person. And that's not my place.
Okay. All right. And I totally understand that. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just, just a different type of person because, you know, I'm not going to go into it, but I had two incidences that happened to me. One when I was in college, and another one when I was, let's see, about 20, 26, 27. And both of those incidences, it changed my frame of reference because it made me realize that there are certain things that no matter what happens, no matter what you do, this will continue to happen over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and these particular things happened to me, but I also saw things that in front of my face happened to my dad. And I know that he never got over it. And there's just some things that I just, when people say you should forgive, why? Because the same thing's going to happen. There are people who are just repeat offenders. And I'm sorry, I don't think everyone deserves forgiveness. I just don't. If you're a serial killer and you're out there killing multiple people, I can't be that family member that says, I forgive you when you've killed 20 other people. And there's probably even more that we don't know about. So I understand what you're saying, Shelby, and I understand what Brina and what Blunt Ninja's saying. But I personally just don't think that everyone deserves forgiveness. If I did something to someone and someone chose not to forgive me, that's their choice. That is something I would have to live with. If someone came up to me, because if I did something really, really bad to someone, they say, I will never forgive you, blah, 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 whatever, that is their choice. Have I let these things consume me? Nope. But it made me recognize and just know and put in, say, oh, okay, just chalk it up. Okay, so whatever, put that in that corner or column, whatever. So I don't know. I just don't think that everyone deserves forgiveness. Shelby?
That's oh goodness. That's I don't want to be like a downer. But that's how you feel. Now I do agree that if they have murdered 100 people, that's hard not want to forgive. Because it is, you've got, say, 20 people, 20 families come up in that courtroom, so to say, and, they're like, I'm doing two things. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
That they, they're all there, and one family says, I forgive you, and then the other 10 families say that they don't, and then there's 9 families that are indifferent. I can see your point as to not being able to forgive because, they hurt your family. And I can see the point of the 10 families that say, I forgive you. And, but it's like a black and white line, or a gray area.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yes, it does. So, okay, so let me ask this. So what about the perpetrators' families? and you see them, like when Jennifer, everyone, you guys know who Jennifer Hudson is. When her mother, brother, sister, and her nephew were killed by the sister's ex-boyfriend. His mom came out and just talked about Jennifer Hudson. I don't care who she is. I don't care if she is famous. I don't care if she is this. My son didn't do this. And then, during the trial, the mother was just so like, how dare she, say this about my son? And, everything pointed to the fact that he did it. I mean, and the mother of the perpetrator was just like, just mean and nasty, and and my son's going to go to prison for the rest of his life and blah 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 blah. Well, and that's when I look and I'm like, so shouldn't you have some empathy? Your son was responsible for killing not only 4 family members, but he killed 4 people in the span of like 5 hours. So do people like that deserve forgiveness? Does the mother deserve forgiveness for what she's saying? I mean, yeah, you can say that she's emotional, but hell, so am I. I'm sitting up here in court having to listen to this stuff when you just killed my family.
On the family's part,
no, I'm saying,
I don't think.
Okay, you're saying the family. When you say the family, are you talking about the family of the perpetrator or the family of the victim? Okay.
Perpetrator. I hold the person that done it responsible, not the family.
But if the family, okay, but if the family of the perpetrator, if they're acting out and being mean and nasty, how do you expect the family of the victim to feel?
Oh, I mean, just as well. That's another. I mean, the family, the victim's family could, feel. I don't want to say vindictive, but they could feel, some people could feel resentment. Some people can feel empathy towards, the parent. But as far as like, the brother or sister or whoever, when they're saying, well, they're going to spend the rest of their life in jail. Well, then they should have thought about that before they committed the crime.
I agree with you 100%.
Every crime has a consequence. And they really should have thought about that before they, even if it was just to rob a liquor store, they should have thought about, hey, what's going to happen to me if I really do this? Is it that, am I in that bad of a need that if I go to prison, is it worth it? And I know times are hard. Don't sit there and tell me times aren't hard, because we have bills we can't pay. So I mean, I understand times are hard, and people are thinking irrationally right now, and thinking, hey, if I just go do this, then my family will be okay. And they're not thinking about the consequences. But if you just sit back and think of the consequences at the time, half of the crimes that take place in this world would not happen, in my opinion.
That's true, Shelby. Unfortunately, though, people don't think about the consequences, and it still comes back to, where I say that people will say, you should be the bigger person, and that just bugs me. That just, I mean, it bugs me to no end, because is always the person who didn't do anything. You're asking them to be the bigger person when the person who should be, responsible and feel some type of remorse. Go talk to them. I've been the bigger person so many times and so many things that I'm tired of it. So there are many times now where no, I'm not going to be the bigger person, but yet people want to, when you're not the bigger person, they have more negativity towards you, and you haven't even done anything, as opposed to the person who did do something. And that's where I'm
Right.
like, I am for calling people out. If people want to call me out for stuff, go right ahead. But I am for calling people out, because people need to be called out, especially when they do something that is heinous and something that they just shouldn't do. Welcome. Who came in here? Welcome, Power Girl, Crucible, Shy Lady, D-Mac, and Mama Bear Tracy. Let me read some of these comments. Frankie, thank you very much for the gift. I appreciate it. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Minnesota says sell it. Okay, I know about the first incident, and I wouldn't either. Yes, Minnesota knows about that first incident that I was referring to. Brina says that's so insensitive. Yes, that's why the son ended up the way he did. Yes, Brina, that is why the son ended up the way he did. Hey, Angie, welcome. I mean, this is what I'm saying. So, violence affects the perpetrators' families, and it affects the victims' families. Whether that victim died, or whether they survived. But there's a process that people go through just trying to get over stuff. Some people may get over it faster than others. And let's see, Kimberly Michael says, I don't believe in fighters. I don't believe in forgiveness. Let's see, everyone's saying hi. Okay.
Well, let me tell you about an incident that happened here locally.
Sure.
And this happened recently. I'm close to the victim's mother, so I understand her position. There is a restaurant or restaurant bar close to where I live, and there was this guy who there was two males, let's put it that way. One beat up and killed the other he killed him with a crowbar. He beat him up with a crowbar. The reason behind it was that the one that was killed with the crowbar, they had been enemies forever, is the background. They had gotten in a fight years ago, and the one that passed away broke his arm, the other guy's arm, and he refused to pay his medical bills. So he vowed that whenever he saw him again out in public, he was going to kill him. Okay, this happened on the restaurant's property. They have a bouncer. I even know the bouncer. But yet nobody saw anything. Okay, well, come to find out, this restaurant has cameras around around the building. And the bouncer overheard the one gentleman say, I'm going to kill him. The mother is now suing not only the bouncer, the owner of the restaurant, the county that the restaurant is in, because the county sheriff was driving around the restaurant and did not do anything about it, saw it happen and was not doing anything about it, just drove off. And
Wait,
which,
so wait,
I mean,
I just want to be clear. So the mother of the victim is suing.
yes.
Okay.
I don't blame her because she has not forgiven the one that done it. So I take the stance with you, that, why, in this instance, I take her stance because all these people saw or knew that it happened and they let it happen.
I'm assuming it's because they thought that the victim, should have paid the other person's medical bills.
Yes, but this was like not these people didn't know, that happened because it happened when they were in high school. These were men. They were like 30 years old. This happened when they were 16.
So
I mean,
let me ask this, because you bring up a question that I have. When
okay.
you said that, so the victim broke the other guy's arm, right?
Right, when he was 16.
Right.
This
And
fight
they
happened when they were 16.
okay. And then, but the medical bills were not paid by his family, because 16, you're still a minor. So technically the family should have paid the medical bills, right? So the
Right.
mother who is suing, I'm just going back in time here. So the mother who is suing is the person who, um, uh, you should have paid the perpetrator's medical bills for breaking his arm, correct?
No, the mother that is suing the county, the restaurant owner, the bouncer, and the sheriff's department is the mother of the one that died.
Right, but I'm saying, but the one that died broke the other guy's arm when they were
Right.
okay. All right. So basically, then the mother technically should have paid the medical bills when they were 16, right?
That's what he killed him for.
Okay. All right. So okay. So now we have okay. So your medical bills weren't paid. You're holding on to this, whatever. Um, should we believe people when they say they're going to do something and you overhear it? Should you believe people? So if I say I'm going to kill someone, and sometimes you say stuff, oh, I'm gonna kill him if he doesn't take out the garbage. You're not talking about that. When you really mean that you're going to do someone harm and you hear it, do we have an obligation to believe them and report it? Shelby?
I think they should have.
Okay. All right.
Because, they knew. The guy was serious. He had the crowbar in his hand.
Okay.
And said, I'm going to kill him.
Okay. Now,
nobody stopped him.
And Brina says people make empty promises all the time. Is a gamble. Would it not be a case of what you say, but how it was said? Angie, that is true, because sometimes it's not necessarily what we say, but it is how we say it. Is you're going to say something like that. But me, when people tell me they are going to do something, I believe them. I don't care if it sounds silly, whatever. I believe them, because you don't know, like Brina said, it's a gamble. You don't know. And so should this I don't know. Let me pop over to Shy Lady. Hey, Shy Lady, you have been waiting patiently. Welcome.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I think it's really a cowardice for that man to come and attack the other. I mean, it's what are the bridges? Unfortunately, the guy is dead, but I think it's a very cowardly act of the other person to attack him with a crowbar for something that happened probably over 10 years ago. It's like they were kids. I agree with Shelby. They were kids. And if your parent then paid the medical bill, then you should have took them to court and let the court enforce them to pay.
But Charlie, this is where when we were talking before you came on, it's like some people, I mean, maybe it was something more than just that broken arm. Maybe these two kids, these two men, just didn't like each other for whatever reason, but then again, people have died over less. But
Yeah.
again, you don't know what people hold on to, and you don't know how people are going to react. I would like to think that it has something more to do with the fact that you didn't pay my medical bills because you broke my arm. I mean, that it seems like there's something else that is going on there. But even if something happened 20 years ago and you did something to someone, um, you don't know if that person, they may see you walking across the street one day and they may be in their car and they may run you over. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah, you should definitely take a person's word because I know a relative that promised to kill someone that had stolen some money from him, and he did. He did, and he went to jail for it. So you should definitely take people for their word if they say something. They make a threat like that. That's for sure.
Yeah, and especially, if it's serious, if it's something serious, I would be leave someone, you know, um, I would be leave them. Let's see. Brina says, I can't tell you how many times a female told me she was going to beat my behind back in the day, but never showed up at my house. I'm sure there's a lot of situations like that, but I'm pretty sure that there have been some girls that have told other girls that they're going to beat them up and did show up, So, um, but I understand what you're saying, Brina. I understand it. Chalet says a death threat is a little different. I mean, yes, it is. It is. I mean, but even I don't know when when you have those schoolyard bullies and they say if you come to school tomorrow or you better not come to school tomorrow because if you come to school I'm going to beat you up, or if you come to school I'm taking your lunch money or stuff like that. I'm sorry, I believe those people. I would believe, and my kid came home telling me that, you better believe I'm up at school the next day. I believe people when they say certain things, especially if it's something negative and is something that's going to harm. I say err on the side of caution. And Mama Bear says, Brianna, sorry, couldn't find your house. Oh, Mama Bear, that was funny. Okay, Charlie says, kids who made threats in my neighborhood were serious. I mean, I'm telling you, you just don't know. So again, going back to should we forgive? Um, if you did something to someone and you didn't say you were sorry, you know, um, I mean, again, I just don't believe that everyone deserves forgiveness, especially if they repeatedly do something over and over, or especially if it was something just really, really bad. I'm sorry, I just don't. And again, I'm just going to say that serial killer who's killed how many people. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be that family member of victim number 12, to say I forgive you. No, I'm sorry. Does that mean that I'm going to let it consume me or anything? No, it just means that I'm not going to forgive you. The other person next to me may forgive you, but me, I'm not. Shelby, you want to say something?
No, I was just going to say I agree with you there, about, I see your point about not forgiving the person that, um, has done that, because I can see my friend that is not willing to forgive that person, not only because I know the woman, but because, I mean, when it come all out in the news that all this, all these people knew, I was like, yeah, she's going to own that restaurant. We just know for a fact she's going to own that restaurant.
Well, let me ask you guys this. This will be my last question before I wrap it up. Do you think that some people are deserving of payback? And I'm going to ask the question before I tell a story. So, do you think that some people are deserving of payback?
I think in that situation, there had been so many years between that. I mean, come on, drop it. That should have been, that was a childish thing to do. I mean, talk it out. There was no need of him taking a crowbar to beat him up with. I mean, he was purposely wanting to do harm, and they didn't stop it.
Okay. But do you think that, I guess what I'm asking is, do you think that there are people who do things to other people and they deserve what they got? Like if you're
in certain cases.
Okay, so do you know who Ken McElroy was?
Uh-uh.
Ken McElroy was a bully who was he was a town bully who lived in Missouri, and this goes back probably into the 70s. I do believe it was, and he lived in this little town. And this man bullied everyone. He bullied his family. His family was what was afraid of, but his family, we stick together. We stick together.
Yeah.
But this man was a bully to the point where he hurt people. He would he raped a couple of women. He was just mean. He was just a mean person. And they're all people in town were trying to decide, what are we going to do with this man? What are we going to do with this family? They even told the family that they needed to leave town. And they're like, we aren't leaving. We aren't leaving, whatever. So one day, Mr. McElroy goes into town, goes around to the bar or whatever, and goes, to this store, that store, stealing, doing whatever he wants, knocking stuff off the counter, just being his regular mean self. Gets into his truck to go home, and all of a sudden somebody shoots him with a shotgun. Kills him instantly. There were 27 more shots after that. 27 other people picked up the gun and shot that man again.
Okay.
When the police or sheriff came, they were like, what happened? Everybody said, I don't know. Well, did anybody see it? Nope. You mean to tell me this man was shot this man? Nope. Didn't see it. Well, did you? Nope. Didn't see it. Didn't see it. Nope. Didn't see it. Well, the family was like, they murdered somebody in that town murdered my father, and they murdered my uncle, they murdered my daddy, they, whatever, and the town was like, leave, get out of town, pack your stuff and leave. The family left, never came back, whatever. The murder of Mr. McElroy is still open to this day. You all can look it up. But it was one of those things where investigators know, they have an idea of what may have happened. In fact, I even think they did a movie on it. But investigators, I think, have an idea of what happened, which is that, because when they looked at the murder weapon was wiped clean. It was wiped clean. And they said that whoever shot this man, because a shotgun only holds so many rounds, reloaded to shoot this man again.
Right.
So for something like that, it's like, is this something that's consuming you? When an act of violence, is that something that's consuming you? Are you waiting for justice? Is that revenge? Or do you just like, okay, I took care of it and I'm not going to think about it again? And years later, when they went back to this town to interview members of the town and what happened, they were like, McElroy, who? They don't even think about him. So, do some people push their luck? Is that bully at school who is bullying everybody or bullying your child, or if your child's the bully and the person that he's bullying comes back to school with a gun and shoots him, should anybody be surprised? And I know that sounds harsh, but violence affects people. Violence affects not just the person that it happened to, but it affects family. It affects, it is stressful. It's emotional, whatever. I'm sorry. I don't believe in looking the other way. Sometimes you have to put people in their place. And for Mr. McElroy, well, he learned his lesson a little bit too late. But it's a fascinating story. It is a fascinating story. But since we've been having this conversation, and Shelby, from what you said about the crowbar thing, made me think about it. So I'm gonna pop over to Shy Lady. Shy Lady, do you have any last words or anything you want to say?
In that case, it was definitely deserving. Most definitely. The revenge.
So do you believe in forgiveness?
I would be a hypocrite if I said I totally believe in it, because based on the circumstance, like, a child being molested or killed, it's like, how can you forgive someone like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'll
Mm-hmm.
never forget the story about the little boy in Wisconsin who was out trick-or-treating, and he was on his bikes with his friends, and this pedophile kidnapped him, raped him, and then shot him in the back of the head. He was like 9 years old. It's like, how do you forgive a monster like that? I just don't.
And Shy Lady, that is when I say I don't. So Blunt, I understand when you say that you should forgive people, but I don't think that some things. I don't think that if you don't forgive someone, that is going to consume you. I think if you hate someone that molested my child and shot him in the back of the head, I don't think that's something that's necessarily going to consume someone, whatever. But I'm sorry, I don't believe those people, like Shy Lady says. I don't believe that. No, I'm not going to forgive you. Why? And I don't, and I don't think it's right when people, say, or a minister stands up in church on Sunday and looking down at me and say, I'm sorry for your loss, but we should forgive. I know what the Bible says, but I'm not God. I'm not perfect. Never claim to be, never will be. So, Minnesota, thank you very much for the gift. Brina says that's evil. Angie says that's awful. Yeah, and Brina, Angie agrees with you. So, I'm going to wrap it up. Shelby, do you have anything else you want to add?
Yeah, I want to say something about what Shy Lady said. I think molesters ought to have their thingy cut off. And I think they ought to be put in jail and have to listen to that child scream as in my opinion. I don't have any remorse or any type of sympathy for a child molester. None whatsoever.
So Shelby, then let me ask this. See, now you have me ask another question. Do you think that child molesters should be, when they supposedly, I don't know if this is true or not, but supposedly child molesters are separated from the general population when they get to prison because for their quote unquote safety, which I think is a joke. Do you think that?
No,
Do you
they
think?
should not. I think they should be put all together with one person, with all together. Let them murderers and everybody, because I'm sure there are murderers out there that believe the same way I do. Sorry, I did not mean to interrupt you.
No, I was going to say exactly what you just said. So go ahead.
I think they ought to be put together. Let them child molesters be a murderer's wench. Let them know how it feels.
So do you think that, now having said that, I'm looking at these comments. Charlene says, absolutely, Shelby, no anesthesia. Brennan says, Shelby, yep, they're useless, no sympathy at all. They don't deserve protection. Andrew says, nah, let them have it. Grace Lady says, oh yeah, they will get killed in general population. And DMAC liked the show. So, all right. So having said that, do you believe that every person who is guilty of a crime, they should not be put in protective custody? That everybody should just be, when you go to some of these third world places, where they don't care what you did, if you robbed somebody, whatever. But if you committed a heinous crime against someone, do you think that anyone should be in protective custody? I guess that's what it is. That you should just, everybody, if you did it, you're guilty. You're gonna go in there with everybody else. I don't care who you are, what you did, who you know. I don't care if you're the president's son and you kill someone. Just because you're the president's son, you don't go to protective custody.
No one is above the law.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So do you think that everybody should just get thrown in? Okay. D says, nah, I don't want the Wild Wild West. D, we're already living in Wild Wild West. Okay. And Angie says, absolutely not. See, I believe that everyone, no matter what the crime is, if you murdered someone, I don't care who you are, you get put in there with the rest of the murders, because then it's like, just because you're the president's son and this other kid is the son of someone who worked in a bar, my life isn't worth any more because this is the president's son and I'm just the son of somebody that works in a bar? Well, that's not right. Shy Lady said, look up Jacob Waterling case in Minnesota. The killer made a plea bargain to be saved from the death penalty. It was so sad. And his brother had to see him being kidnapped. See, I mean, no. And then these plea bargains again. Even when you have a plea, so y'all make my show go longer. When you all have a plea bargain, again, that act of violence by by the DA or whatever doing a plea bargain, that is also affecting the lives of families. Right. I mean, it changes people's lives. Some people say, well, we did it this way because some people don't want some people, for them to get over it, it could be to see that person on death row, even if they sit there like they do in California for 20 years. For them, it could be that they need to see that, not that, well, instead of them, getting death, we'll give them life. Instead of giving them life, we'll give them 25 years, and in 25 years, I'm pretty sure he'll be changed. I mean, no. Let's see. Angie says you do the crime.
No, I don't.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I
don't believe in the death penalty.
Okay. Hold on. Let me just read these real quick. Okay. Angie says you do the time, you're doing the crime. Child lady says the plea was for him to tell where the body was. Jacob's parents wanted closure. Okay. So that was closure for them. Okay. And D says, are you talking about an eye for an eye? D, in some cases, yes. In some cases, yes. And in some cases, no. It all depends. Okay, Shelby, go ahead.
Now, everybody's going to look at me different when I say this, and I'm sorry. I do not believe in the death penalty in certain cases, like molesters. No, they do not. They should not get the death penalty. Like I said, they should have to sit there and listen to the cries, of children.
So even if that molester killed someone, you don't believe in the death penalty?
No, ma'am. Mm-mm.
Okay. I never believed in the death penalty until there was a case here in California of a little girl that was kidnapped, raped, and killed. I didn't believe in the death penalty until that case. So yeah, crazy lady, welcome.
I'm sorry,
Shelby. What about
Yeah.
on the whole death thing? I see the whole listening to the kids cry. It's like, whoa, wait a minute, because like some of them, that hearing their victim cry or plead or whatever is
it's what gets them off. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
But if they cut their thingy off, they can't do that.
Okay, true, but who's to say that person's still not going to go and look at child porn or something? I mean, cutting it off.
Yep.
I mean, okay, so you cut it off
in prison, though.
I don't know, Shelby.
I mean, I'm all down for yelling them and stuff like that, but but with let's having just because with some of them, that's what gets them off. That's what the rush of it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, you're right. How about peeling their nails off and putting it in salt?
Oh, I have theories. I've definitely theories and some torture techniques that I totally think that you can totally skin a person while they're living. You just gotta keep them from going from shock.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
But
I mean, people might call us sick and twisted, but I mean, you got to think like they think.
I can't. Seriously,
Now, Charlotte says
I can't.
Charlotte says I don't think they have a heart. They wouldn't care if they heard the victim's cries, and I believe that. Yeah. I believe what crazy lady says. I mean, these people, they don't care. That's how they get off. Yeah. So okay, let me ask you guys. I'm going back to what D Mac says. He says he doesn't want the Wild Wild West, and he says, "Are you talking about an eye for an eye?" I mean, do you all believe in an eye for an eye? I mean, would it be the Wild Wild West? Anybody?
I do. I believe an eye for an eye.
Okay,
but that's how I was raised.
I'm old school. I don't even believe that the police have a phone number.
Okay, do you
straight up?
Yeah, there you go. The police do not have a phone number in my yard.
All right, so D says, so if I kill a child and I am later found murdered by Solid, G thanks, Solid shouldn't be prosecuted. Yes, I should. So I guess, are you saying that you don't believe in an eye for an eye, or you do believe in an eye for an eye?
I think it has to do with circumstances.
Rita, stop laughing.
I don't know.
I mean, Okay, so should we be the country where you have some of these places where if you steal something, even if it's your first offense, they cut off your hand? Should it be that eye for an eye? Or should it be where if you kill someone and you did it, you get killed also? If you rape someone, should you get raped? I mean, let's think about this. And Brina says the death penalty is expensive. And you know what, Brina? It is. And that's why I don't think taxpayers, I have always felt this, I don't feel taxpayers should pay the expense for killing someone. I think the victim's family should. And if it means that you got to garnish a check for the next 20 years to pay for whatever.
So you're gonna okay. So you're gonna make like, okay, let's say, Jade went out and like killed someone, right? You're gonna punish me for her actions?
Well,
that's totally unfair.
I think she meant to say the perp's family.
Right. And that's
exactly.
what she's saying.
Not the victim's family.
Right. But that's what Crazy Lady's saying. So she's saying that if her daughter went out and killed someone, that I'm going to make the perpetrator's family, pay for it. Yeah. Because Crazy Lady, let me ask this then. Should the taxpayers consistently get stuck with this? I mean, we get stuck with everything. I mean,
I know. Well, unfortunately, it's an unfair world. It's an unfair world.
Right. It is an unfair world. So then you should pay.
I'd put all of them on an island and say, you know what? I don't care if it's World War III over there. Check it out.
But somebody still has to
block off a state or something.
Somebody still has to get them to that island. Somebody still has to pay for it. So, I mean, I just think that when you look at how much money,
if I was a victim's family, I'd probably pay for that expense willingly.
See, I think that forever victims, if you want to eat in prison, your family has to pay for it. If your family doesn't pay for your meal, then you
have to work for it,
or work for whatever. But the taxpayer shouldn't have to pay for it. And if that prison.
Now I can tell you, Solid. I grew up in Memphis, and the Memphis State Penitentiary, or the penitentiary in Memphis, has to grow their own vegetables. If they want to eat vegetables, they have to grow their own, and they have to work it, or you don't eat vegetables that winter.
I mean, I'm just saying that, D says he's still using me and my family now. Solid's wayward son killed someone. So Solid has to pay for his execution. And I say yes. I mean, because this is, I guess is where I'm saying that would it deter crime? Would it deter crime? I mean, maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. Would it deter crime if before you went and did something, that your family is going to have to sell their house, do this, they can't do this, whatever, because of what? No, it wouldn't deter.
Look at all the drug addicts.
Yeah.
Okay. It wouldn't deter if your family had to pay for it. It's like, oh, I ain't got to pay for it.
Okay, true. Okay, but like Dee says, no, Sally hadn't had nothing to do with it. No, I didn't have anything to do with it if my child went and killed someone. But as a taxpayer, I didn't have anything to do with it. I don't even know these people. So why am I paying for it?
That's true.
Exactly.
Why am I paying for it? Should we just literally
because life isn't fair?
No, life isn't fair. So should we have and this sounds really bad, but I'm gonna say it. Should we have a cliff that when you're found guilty, go step off the cliff and
walk the plank there, mate.
I mean, seriously, have them walk the plank. And Brina's laughing. Yes, a cliff. I like that. I mean, seriously. And then Deep says the rights of a free society. I am totally serious. And now that I think about it, since I just said it, I mean, seriously, because look at all the things that tax. Now we get into a whole different show. Now look at all the things that taxpayers are paying for, and it's like, should we have to pay for this stuff? I mean, your act of violence is changing my life, and you're gonna go. You killed my loved one, or you did something to me and my loved one. You burned down my house or whatever. You're going to prison, but I still have to pay for it. Come on,
Right.
I mean, there are some countries where I think in Czechoslovakia, and when you're found guilty of murder, they take you into the next room and they execute you right there. There is no staying on death row or going to prison and life in prison and things like that. They don't do that. Life in prison
They hang you over there, don't
yeah,
they?
they do. I mean, seriously. So should we do that? Because that'll free up. People are getting upset about, oh, you're letting this person out. You're letting this person out to free up some space. If someone is truly guilty, I'm not talking about the innocent ones, because we know people in jail that are innocent. I'm talking about if you know that this person really did kill this person, whatever, then I say kill them right then and there. Within 24, 40 hours, they are gone, and you don't have to. Then that's like.
But what about the women? Okay, because like we all know, I've been in prison. I had a cellmate that she straight up, she said, yeah, I killed the man. She killed her boyfriend because she found out that he was he used to beat her and stuff, and she found out that he was molesting her daughter. And he came home. Yeah, dude, she straight up, she killed him. She shot him 6 times, reloaded the gun, and continued to shoot him.
Now, see,
and
some people like
they gave her.
I don't think she should have. People like that should not be in prison. Sorry, but nope.
She got sentenced to 100 years, I think it was, because they said it was along the thing. She goes, it wasn't because she told me about it, because
it was premeditated, they said.
Yep. And she goes, Stephanie, she goes, I didn't think about it. She goes, my daughter told me what happened, and he came home and I asked him about it, and he started to puff up, and that gun was just sitting right there on top of the thing. And I shot him. And then I said, but you reloaded the gun. She goes, I wanted to make sure he was dead.
Yeah. It's premeditated when you shoot more than once.
No, I think it becomes premeditated when you do the whole reload thing. Because my dad, when every time he taught a class, and the cops told him, Limey, please stop telling these people to make. He goes, when you fire that gun and stuff, he goes, you walk it. He goes, empty your entire gun into that motherfucker. Make sure they're dead. A dead man tells no tales.
Well,
yeah, but I agree with you, Solid.
Go
that has
ahead.
to be part 2.
I'm serious, because now that y'all said y'all put the term to walk the plank. Yeah. We, how in where is New York they have Pottersfield. I think we should have Potter's
walk the plank field.
Potter's plank or whatever, and we just have a cliff.
Yeah.
And I'm serious. So everybody just...
Have you seen the Handmaid? Have you watched the Handmaid's Tale?
I cannot get into that show. I cannot. I have tried. I cannot get into that show
because their whole system of how they deal with murderers and all stuff like that is pretty much cut and dry.
That's what I'm saying. Just cutting, cut and dry, and that's it. Shy lady, I'm going to come back to you. Are you still there?
I'm still here listening.
Okay, so I know we were wrapping it up 20 minutes ago. So do you have anything you want to add, since Crazy Lady and Shelby and I have been talking about walking the plank and everything else?
I think those are all some great ways to get rid of scum. So I'm in agreement.
Okay. All right. So y'all, I'm not gonna go around the room anymore because y'all gonna say something else and gonna make me keep going. So on that note, tomorrow is Thursday. I have not come up with a fun show, even though what did Brina say? Brina, what did you say that I said? I think that's a show. Okay, Angie says karma is a bitch. I'm going back to the thing. Yes, it is. Brina, help me out here. What did you say that I said that's a good topic for a show? Okay, Brina says, I remember reading a story about a man walking in on his child being molested. The dad destroyed the man that molested that deserved it. Yep. Let's see. Going back to the chat. See you later, see you later. See you later, Shy Lady. Have a good day. Deep show, good one. Rita, what did you say that I liked and I said it should be a show? I should have written it down. I can't remember what you said. I'll come up with the show tomorrow because tomorrow is our fun show. No, we're not going to have a music show as much as I would like to, but we're not. But I am reaching out to another DJ, so I'm sorry, I can't remember. Okay, so but yeah, I'll think of something for tomorrow. I have some topics, but I don't know if they'll be fun. So I gotta look. So guys, anyway, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for your input. This was an interesting show. So I am going to end today with a song called Soothing Country. Hope you like it. So Angie D, Power Girl, Minnesota, Crucible, Rena, Ninja Bunny, Daddy Hop, everyone, thank you so much for coming. Crazy Lady, Shy Lady, and Shelby, thank you for popping up. And I'll see you tomorrow. And guys, that's it. I hope to see you tomorrow. Bye.